What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alexander, obviously. I've got a bit of a drive to make across LA to drop something off for somebody, and I need to pass the time, so we're going to have an AMA. How bad were the Democratic debates? I didn't actually watch them at all. I caught like a snippet of them completely accidentally when I was at the gym 2 nights because I just happened to be at the gym at that time. And I watched them on the gym TVs a little bit. There's no sound, of course. And like I said, I watched maybe 3 minutes cumulatively of both of them. I was just looking at the body language. I didn't care what they were saying, but it was very it was very funny to see. It was very entertaining to see. That's how far society has fallen, honestly. That these caricature mannequin people are supposed to be our next great leader. So, yeah, America's basically a failed country at this point. I mean, infrastructure still runs and all that, but the institution of government is completely just gone to hell. So, such is reality. Such is reality. This is whatever you guys want to talk about. I got Jim Bros telling me your foundations program isn't enough. I don't give a fuck, bro, honestly. You can do my program or you can do somebody else's. I don't give a shit. So, are mass gainers effective or a scam? They're kind of both. So, like a mass gainer, all it is just a protein powder with a bunch of calories in it. So if you are trying to gain weight and you need to eat a lot, like, yeah, they work, but is it necessary to use them? No, it's not. You could just add protein. You could just add peanut butter to regular whey protein. You basically got a mass gainer. So it's kind of bullshit. I mean, that's a situation where you need to back up and like basically learn the basics, foundations of nutrition, and how that works. The idea that like a protein powder is a mass powder, it just has a lot of calories. That's all. That's literally it. So, yeah, that's shit that like teenage boys get fooled by because they don't have that first order knowledge at all. In regard to the program question, the thing I always tell people is you either follow my program, you follow somebody else's program, but don't put too many cooks in the kitchen, to really mix metaphors very poorly. Do something consistently and do that thing. Don't try to change stuff up. Don't try to, combine someone else's program with this program. My Foundations program is a basic beginner program for people who are just getting started in the gym. So do that. If you want to add in extra shit because, but the bros told me, I would sort of re-examine why you're such a fucking bitch that you're going to ask 20 people for advice but take none of it. I mean, honestly. One of the worst things you can do as a man is to try to take the advice of everybody and then you end up following none of it. That's a follower personality. You're not leading yourself. You're not making firm decisions. You're not being decisive. So pick a program. I don't care if it's mine or anyone else's, but pick a program and do that program. Do it. And see what you learn. That's the only way that you learn. Execute something with discipline. Don't pick something, don't select something, and then ask a bunch of other people, what do you think of this? Before you've even barely made any progress on it. Every program works to some degree if you're a novice, especially. You can literally do anything and show up for it, and you'll get results. So, take all that into account. Any other questions, guys? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to shoot the shit over? I've got a long drive, so please pass my time for me. In row curl movements, should you call it failure when you can't get those last few inches? Well, okay, rowing movements and curl movements are two different things. So, a curl movement, that's a bicep exercise. Should you call it when you can't get this last, that last part of a contraction? That depends. I encourage training people to positive failure Yeah, a few cheat reps at the end can be allowable, but generally speaking, just do everything with proper technique. If you can't, once you can't get full range of motion, just stop. Back move, that's for curls. Back movements are a little bit different, actually. Back is the one thing, especially in regards to rowing, where I have observed over the years, people get great results. I want to say not training with full range of motion, but a lot of guys get excellent results kind of cheating their back exercises a bit. Now, that's predicated upon knowing how to fully contract your back. So don't listen to that and be like, oh, I can cheat. No, that's not what I mean. If you know how to initiate back movements properly, which means you get scapular, like you get real scapular retraction, you're really engaging your lats and your rhomboids, you're really putting the strain and the stress where you want the tension, you don't necessarily have to use a perfect range of motion. You can use a little bit of momentum. So that is different from curling that way. I don't really encourage people to cheat on curls too much. Back exercises, rows especially, there is a place for it. Yeah, that said, at the same time, this is assuming that you know how to lift. Most people don't know how to lift at all, so probably disregard that and actually just do things with proper technique. 99% of people I see in gyms never do literally anything correctly, so I take that back. Maybe not 90%. Maybe 1 in 10 people when I actually go to the gym, I'll see like, wow, that person really knows what the fuck they're doing. Like 1 in 10 people. Like that's it though. Like literally just that few. Best exercise for forearms. Honestly, just forearm curls, like training your biceps. Forearms get overcomplicated. Like if you do heavy farmers, you can do heavy farmers walks and all, like smaller movements. But for most guys, getting your forearms to grow, it's partially genetic. And if you just train biceps diligently and you train the brachioradialis muscle, they usually will grow. Like I've never seen a guy that had like decent arms, like good biceps, but then have like shitty forearms. That's really uncommon. To use a Bowflex? Fuck no, Bowflex is dumb as hell. So take into account. If you get good biceps growth, you'll probably get decent forearm growth. Not guaranteed, but again, I've never seen a guy that had good bicep development that had like skinny girl forearms. It just doesn't go together. I have seen guys that had huge legs and tiny calves, though. So, that can be different. Calves are very stubborn. Forearms, though, you want to train them directly. Some forearm curls, some wrist curls. They honestly don't require that much. Do an extra, let's say, like 3 sets of wrist curls, 3 sets of pronated curls at the end of your biceps workout. You do that twice a week. They should grow. That's pretty usually sufficient for most people. I'm not actually a fan of training arms really high frequency because I've found that tends to lead to bicep tendonitis, tricep tendonitis in a lot of people. But it can work for short periods of time. Definitely can work. Especially if you're training low volume. If you do this like 2 sets basically for each and you do that every day, that can work. Have I lost body fat? I'm a bit leaner than I was a few months ago. Maybe down about like 6-7 pounds. I shaved, so that could be it too. Or it might just be, I also got a new camera, so what happened to the beard? I shaved it because I felt like it. Is it possible that my triceps can be different in size, equal in strength? Yeah, it's actually entirely normal to have one arm that's larger than the other arm. That's not strange at all. Very, very common, actually. Is it true it's okay to feel hungry when losing fat? If you're not hungry while you're trying to lose body fat, you're not losing fucking any fat. So yeah, like 100 on that. You got to be hungry. I'll reiterate that again. The only way you lose body fat is by calorie cutting, and that's gonna make you hungry. So if you think you're losing fat but you're never experiencing hunger, you're not. Can you lift with nerve damage? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. That depends. I can't even really give it a straight answer to that. That's entirely contextual. Should you feel your lats burning if you can activate them? Not necessarily burning. Lats are very hard to fully fatigue that way. You're like, oh my gosh, my lats are on fire. You have to get a really good pump. That said, you should be able to fully initiate with your lats, and you'll feel a contraction. You should be able to get a pump. Whether they're going to get a burn sensation, it's hard to trap blood in your lats that way. So not so much. Usually the muscles that really burn, like shoulders, you can get really intense that way. Quadriceps, obviously, for a lot of people, like doing high reps for legs. biceps and forearms. Back, that's kind of difficult, actually. Back, you really have to rely more on just fatiguing your back and your ability to move the load. The burning sensation doesn't really happen for most back muscles, generally speaking. Anything I can do to counter that? No, there's nothing you can do. So long as they're equal in strength, they're equal in strength. So just don't worry about it. What did you mean exactly by when mature men just get older? I didn't mean anything. It's just I got that out of a Dan Kennedy book talking about sales, and then the Manosphere decided to jizz in their face over it because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. So yeah, it basically was from a Dan Kennedy book referring to the fact that men's buying habits never really change as they age, because every guy as he gets older, he ends up buying the same shit as when he was younger. He wants cars, he wants boats, he wants houses. He usually ends up buying nice clothes. Men's buying habits, they don't really alter over the course of their life. That actually is different from female consumers. So it was actually contextual to that. But people. I mean, I posted it without context, and I guess people took it as I don't know, some red pill, blue pill, blue rainbow pill, green pill bullshit, blah blah blah. So, do you recommend beginning workouts for exercise with weak points? I don't really know what you mean by that. If you're just starting off training, then everything's fucking weak. So you just have to train the whole body. Can I lose body fat being in a deficit 500 or 50 to 100 calories a day? Not really, actually. What ends up happening to that is you end up compensating in ways you won't realize. Your activity levels will go down a little bit. That level of deficit where it's like 50 to 100 calories, it's almost basically too small to really even make a difference. I used to sometimes get the recommendation you don't need a big calorie deficit. The problem with that is that you have to be able to auto-regulate and also calorie track at the same time very, 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 very well. And most people flat out can't do that. So now when I talk about losing body fat, 500 calorie deficit. Maybe if you're like a tiny petite girl, 400, but 500 calories, that's where you start. If you're not fucking hungry, you're not losing fat, period. That's a heuristic rule, and it's never wrong, pretty much. Why is it so easy to eat 200? Well, because food has calories in it. That's not, what's really the fucking question there? Why is that mysterious to you? And your pull-ups suck because you're weak. That's why. You have no muscle, guaranteed. And probably because you're fat, too. So you're fat without muscle. Is your winter bulking program from 2018 still available? Which one was that? I'm sure it probably is. What's the beef with Gary? I don't have a beef with Gary at all. Yeah, I've said that before. I don't want to be a part of it anymore because I found he acted bad. His behavior was poor repeatedly, and so yeah, that's it. I have no ill will towards the guy. It was on the email list. Oh, bro, I got no clue, man. I'd love to help you out on that. I'll go through my emails, but fuck, that's a lot of program. I do have a bodybuilding program coming out. Probably next week. I'm just gonna email it to everybody. So it'd be excellent from asking. I'll send it out next week. I would do that. What you got in the McDee's cup? Coffee. Sugar-free iced coffee. Oh. Should I not be eating to the point of satisfaction at all? No, if you're trying to lose body fat, you should be fucking hungry. And you should be counting your calories. And being in a deficit and weighing yourself daily. Do you like athletes' content? Yeah, I loved, Jeff Cavallari? Yeah, his name? Yeah, Jeff's content is the absolute best on YouTube by far. I recommend his shit all the time. All the time. He definitely cornered the market on that. If you took steroids just once, ever would it work? I mean, it would work, but once you go off them, it's kind of fucking pointless, so. Toning muscle, more about reps than weight. No, that's actually a completely false paradigm. Muscle tone refers to the resting tonicity of a muscle, which to do that, you have to get the muscle stronger. So the idea that you do high reps for toning and low reps for strength, it's true that, yes, low reps do build maximal strength, but tone, separating tone from strength is just rather stupid. You have to do both. And you can't really tone your body without building muscle in the first place. So it's like one of those things. It's very backwards, the whole premise of it. How do you build muscle tone? Well, you gotta build muscle mass. Well, I don't want to build muscle mass. Well, it takes a long time to build muscle mass. Well, how do I look more toned? Well, you gotta build muscle. Well, how do I do that? You gotta get stronger. Well, I don't want to lift heavy weights though, because I'll get bulky. And like, it's just a bunch of wrong thinking over and over and over and over and over again. Usually women believe in that shit, unfortunately. Like, the things women think about fitness are usually just fucking stupid and fucking wrong. Over and over and over again. So then, yeah, like I've told my female clients that for years. I'm like, literally everything you think is stupid. You train calisthenics. I do body weight movements. I'm not, I've said this before, I don't know why people separate body weight training from lifting weights. Just do both. They're not separate things. Kettlebells for burning fat. There's no such thing really as a fat burning workout, truly. You have to be in a calorie deficit. I mean, kettlebells, they can work well for certain types of endurance. Sure. I've never been super favorable to them, as beyond just doing like swings, honestly. You know, some people like to use them for everything. But, you know, if you really enjoy them, like, hey, like, by all means, like, they are versatile. They are, definitely. I prefer more, you could say more traditional stuff. But they can, you know, if you have access to them, like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty decent. They certainly work for what they work for. Yeah, all tools have their place. I've never preached a message that you should only use one thing. You should use everything available to you. You should know how to use all of it. Is it more effective to use cyclosteroids when you start working out or after several years in plateau? I would never recommend taking steroids when you first start training. It completely fucks up your adaptation curve. If you have been, let me preface what I'm about to say. If, this is a big fucking if for all of you listening, if you have been training consistently, week in, week out, progressive overload, never missing a workout, never missing shit for 5 years, if you've been training consistently, pure discipline for 5 years, okay? For 5 years, and you've eaten your face off, and you've lifted all the weights, and you've tracked your workouts, and tried to smash the logbook. If you have done that for 5 years, and at the end of 5 years, you've pretty much hit your more or less genetic potential, yeah, that's what I'd recommend. If you still want to get bigger, you still want to get stronger, it's that important to you, then fucking, that's when you'd start using steroids, but not before that. Yeah, a lot of guys want to use shit as a fucking shortcut because they're fucking lazy. And then they don't even train hard when they're fucking on them, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, if you start lifting weights when, let's say, you're 20, and well, here's the thing, there's going to be health ramifications you have to consider, but let's just assume you don't give a shit. If you start lifting weights hardcore at 20, and then 5 years later you've put on 50 pounds of muscle, that's about as much as you're ever going to gain. You know, like without, you know, like you're going to be scraping for ounces at that point. Okay, if you want to fucking get gassed up, okay, sure, do it then. But starting out, that's just totally, it's both lazy, and you're in the irony is that you're never even going to get the same results had you waited, basically. Because, you know, one, if you ever go off and like it'll just completely fucking go away. Two, it completely skews your objective sense of how training works. So yeah, do that if you're going to do that. 5 years, don't miss a workout, and then you can use them. How did you build your audience in your early days? Same thing I do now. I just tweet a lot and post a lot. There's no secret to that. How much should you add onto your weights weekly, Jim? As a beginner, you can pretty much add reps and weight almost every week. As an advanced person, yeah, it kind of goes like this. You know, for the first 6 months of training, you can pretty much just keep increasing the weights like almost all the time, like every week or every month. After 6 months, it slows down to like every other week. After a year, it's like kind of like monthly. Yeah, after roughly about 2 years, it's like month to month, and it's a lot smaller. 3 years, same thing. Like once you get into year 3, like maybe every few months you're gonna really go up in weight. Yeah, and then past like year 3, 4, 5, you'll be lucky if you can add, if you can add like 20 pounds to lift in a year, that's pretty fucking good. There are cases, there are situations where maybe you can add 100 pounds to a lift, maybe in a year, but then again, that's also predicated upon completely diligent fucking training. And even doing that, you have to realize that 100 pounds in a year, let's just say 50 pounds. Let's be more realistic. Let's say you had 50 pounds in a year. How many months are there in a year? There's 12, right? So 55 by 12. So you're not even adding 5 pounds a month. You're adding like 2 to 4, basically. So yeah, this is where guys don't realize how slow progress day to day, week to week is. You have to take all that into account. Most guys today are just fucking impatient. That's why I find constantly they're fucking impatient. I want to get big, bro. Okay, give it 5 years. Oh, Well, what's the fastest I can go? 3 years. Oh, what if I take pro hormone? 3 fucking years. Doesn't change, guys. Are some people just naturally a lot stronger than others? Oh, fuck yeah. It's like, are some people naturally taller than others? Yeah. Genetics definitely play a role. Garlic too acidic? No, not if you digest it well. There's no... How's that? What kind of question is that? Guys, if you want to assess a food, just eat it and see what happens. With your foundations program, should I be doing cardio as well? If you want to. It's just a weight training program. If you want to do extra cardio or add in cardio, yeah, by all means do so. Feel free. It's designed to be flexible that way. There's no, perfect amount of cardio. I asked Naval, he said tweet less, no, always the best. How would you reconcile the two? I wouldn't, because Naval is a billionaire, and anything he says, people are going to think it's really fucking smart, and you're a nobody. Not that you're a nobody, but you're a fucking nobody, and nobody's going to notice your fucking tweets if you're tweeting 5 times a day thinking you're dropping wisdom, because you're nobody. Naval's playing an entirely different game. He's got a massive reputation network. When he got on Twitter so long ago, he had already created a fucking company. So you're not Naval. None of us are Naval. If a billionaire today got on Twitter and had it in his profile, billionaire investor created X company, he'd be getting followers like fucking mad, and he'd be having people follow him. Because of who he is, because of the implications of his reputation, his accomplishments. Some rando fucking account that's like, oh, I better tweet great stuff. Yeah, you can tweet great stuff, but if you're barely tweeting, no one gives a shit about you. And why would they? You're nobody. I asked how he'd do in the early days. He was still Naval. How big of a network does Naval have? I've hung out with Naval. I love Naval, but how big of a network does Naval have? Naval's network is way bigger than all our networks. So, no, that's not good advice. At all. Should fighters lift weights? Yes. Well, they can. They definitely can. There's lots of ways to resistance train. If Zumi and Jesus can get on Rogan, you probably can too. Never heard of Naval. Yeah, exactly. See, exactly. Here's the thing. Naval's big following. Here's a person. I don't know who Naval is. Exactly. So, again, the strategy, if you want to be noticed in the world of noise, so to speak, you have to take this into account, man. I'm not shitting on Naval. I love Naval. I'm friends with Naval. Him and I have hung out. No bullshit. But take into account the world that we live in. If you want people to notice you on social media, and you want to build a reputation, how do you stand out? By writing an article once a month, by tweeting, 5 times a day? Unless you somehow, some way, are so gifted that everything you produce is viral and awesome, and you're dropping knowledge bombs, all this cliched shit, and it somehow gets picked up by all the right people, and it somehow gets retweeted in all the right networks, or reposted, whatever. Yeah, sure, you might build a following really fast. What are the odds of that actually happening? What are really the odds? Almost 0. I'm not going to say it couldn't happen, but I've not really seen that happen. So, taking that into account, what's the other strategy? You do, as I call it, you go scorched earth and you drink the flood, and you blast out content like mad. Now, here's the thing. That's predicated upon you actually having something to talk about, you being an expert at something, you being a knowledgeable person. So there's certain requirements that go with that. It's very conditional. Most people flat out just don't have much to say. If you've got a lot to say and you have many ways of expressing it, then you flood the network, you flood the platform, and you will be noticed in due time. Now, it might take 1 to 2 to 3 years, but eventually you'll build a following, you'll build a reputation, and if you are truly providing something valuable to people, people will follow you. Cool. Okay, awesome. Is a minimalist strategy going to get you there? As I said, no. It has to be a maximalist strategy. How do you strike the balance? Don't want to drown out the good stuff with just... you don't strike a balance. Balance is fucking illusionary. Balance is absolutely illusionary. I've never worried about, I need to strike a balance. I want to drown out... Nope, I want to drown everybody. I want to fucking drag all of you into the deep end and put all of you underwater and choke you out. That is my strategy. Not literally, and I say that not with malice, but I don't want anybody to ever be able to say that they produce more content than me. Ever. But yeah, equilibrium is fucking death. Okay? You are competing literally with the entire internet when you are a content producer. Really think about that. You are competing with the entire internet. If you want somebody's attention, you need to stand out. How do you do that? You better produce. Yeah, again, this is where you want to talk about iterated games and competitive games. Most people can't do that. Most people can't do that because they don't have access to infinity that way, because they've never done anything to that level. If you have, though, you'll win. If you're not at that level, you're just gonna have to scrape by, and that's okay. Some people do scrape by, but again, if you truly want to dominate and you want to get something done as fast as possible, and build an audience as fast as possible, build a reputation as fast as possible, build a network as fast as possible, scale things to a level in which you can make money off of them, in inconceivable levels for yourself, push to infinity, and then go beyond it. Balance is fucking death. You can worry about balance later on after you've made your money, basically. Maybe when I'm 40, I'll be able to say, all right, I'm ready to retire from this. I made X amount, millions of dollars, and I'm gonna kick back and go do something else. But not until then. What do you think of the red pill and successful chicks overall dogma? The basic red pill stuff is useful. The applied psychology of it, like the applied practice of it, gets retarded really, really, really fast, as I've pointed out many times. If you got thin joints, you can lift weights, but if you're skinny that way, you're just going to be fucking skinny that way. You're not going to go from having like 6.5, and you're not going to go from having like skinny girl wrist to like having like man meaty wrist. It's not happening, dudes. Your joints can get a bit thicker, that is possible, but again, like you're looking at a lot of training, and you're never going to have, obviously the bone structure that someone else has. Do I do any martial arts? I've done jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Krav Maga, Taekwondo, boxing, wrestling. So I've done a bit. What do you think of Jordan B. Peterson? I love Jordan Peterson. I think he's an amazing man. His heart is in the right place. He's sacrificed many aspects of himself to try to further good, to further something that's truthful. That's very admirable. What ways do you think the red pill gets? Well, because it gets dogmatic. Because the red pill stuff, the basics of it are useful. When it gets applied and you start having guys make these hysterically polemic statements, don't say you you have to start like measuring out compliments. Like, okay, don't ever say I love you unless she said it 3 times. Don't ever lose frame ever. Don't ever what are the other things? The basically like all the suggestions are counter, like don't do anything fucking romantic unless this, that. I'm like, this is where it's fucking retarded. That's where it gets completely fucking retarded. The behavioral observational aspects are accurate. The applied aspects are just idiocy. It's complete fucking male autism. I was good with women before I ever read red pill shit. And did it make me way better with women? Not really. It just gave you I read it and I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This is kind of how it is. Okay, this gives like clarity on a level of sort of like evolutionary biology shit. But I realized too, a lot of men just believe completely false things about women, like completely false, stupid things. Like the blue pill is real that way. So like I could see it's helpful if you're completely trapped in an illusion. But if you're relying upon it to learn how to have like healthy, functional relationships, it might work for you, or you might just go fucking retarded with it. You might just go completely fucking retarded. And there's no spectral, nuance to it at all. Nothing. Book recommendations for selling online. I've never sold a book, so I really can't help you with that. I've sold a lot of fitness shit, but I've never sold like a book. Don't initiate contact ever. Yeah, like that's stupid. You're the prize. I always crack up with that one. You're the prize. Okay, bro. Okay. Yeah, a lot of it's very axiomatic because it's insecure men basically like sort of assessing their whole lives against women. And the narcissism really comes out there. Why is the manosphere in shambles? Because a lot of the guys in it are just basically fucking retards. So red pill is good in principle. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, guys. I wouldn't call it red pill. I would call it literally just being a well-formed human being. Because a lot of the principles in it are basic stoic fucking philosophy. It's nothing that, I guess red pill has a monopoly on that way. You know, if I tell you to be your own mental point of origin, don't put women on a pedestal, you know, be an independent man, make your own decisions, you know, don't have imbalanced relationships, is that red pill? No, that's just fucking being a functional, like I said, being a functional man. You know, you could have written that fucking 2,000 years ago. It'd mean the exact same thing. What's the best way to combat all these modern becoming blue pill? Well, you can't combat it. You have to take ownership for your own life. Yeah, I said this before in a video. You can't like forcibly wake people up. That's a false idea. You know, when you realize that you are in control of yourself and you are in control of your actions and you're in control of your behaviors, do that and, you know, set an example for other people. But it's not your role to save people at all. That's an absolute waste of time. If you see people making stupid decisions with women, you know, tell them, hey man, I think you're making a poor decision. If you want to talk about it, you know, let's talk about it. But, you know, trying to like sort of like preach to them, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And like I said, it's not worth it. You know, people do not learn anything by force. They learn it of their own free will. What do you mean by purple pill? Purple pill means when like you are aware of red pill stuff, but yeah, actually I have no really fucking clue, honestly. This is why I had disagreements with the Rollo that, you know, I stopped giving a fuck about, yeah, after the falling out. You know, the purple pill is sort of like, you know, red pill shit, but you're not like hardcore enough about it, but you're not blue pill because you know it, and you kind of, you know, supposedly you practice it because it's a religion, of course. So we'll call you purple pill. Yeah, again, this is just where it just goes fucktarded. You know, because you're basically dividing everything in the world into two things. And there's the middle thing, which is like the, you know, there's blue pill, there's red pill, you're either red or you're blue, and then if you're purple, well, you're still dumb, but now you're in the middle. Like, it's not a nuanced way to think at all. What do you think of 30-plus-year-old men who marry 19-year-olds? Good for them, if they want to. Like, I don't really give a shit, honestly. Like, what's really the question here? 30-plus, how many men actually do that? Like, are we talking like, are we talking like, what, Middle Eastern dudes? Is that like a common practice? You know, like where it's somewhere that's a common practice? It doesn't really happen in the United States. Is Roosh an example of God pill? Alright guys, let me be real with you. Dividing the world into fucking pills is so ass backwards I cannot even begin to describe it. So if this is how you're going to think, like, just spare me the goddamn questions. Like, really. 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 Okay, like, again, this is where, like, you think you're being smart and you're not. Like, this is not how intelligent men think. There's this pill, and there's that pill, there's that pill. And what pill did he take? Just slit my fucking wrist and let me bleed to death on the street. Jesus Christ. Think TRP's view of a woman is accurate? It's partially accurate, but they also become lunatics about it. You know, it's like, women are hypergamous. No shit, really. Fucking tell me something else. Women like to fuck tall men who have money? Oh, tell me more. Tell me more. Women like successful men? Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm just having a fucking heart attack from all the fucking wisdom you're dropping. Oh my. Like, you know, again, this is why, it's a lot of it is broken men who are just pissed off that they got cheated on / divorced, honestly. Did you know that women don't reason like men? Oh my gosh, tell me more. Holy shit. Truth bomb, guys. It's not, okay, even though you're married, it's just your turn, okay? So just, I know that you thought women literally, when they suck your dick one time, that they're immediately attached to you for all eternity, infinity, and they think you're amazing. But it's actually not that way. Well, relationships are actually conditional. I know this is crazy. I know Disney movies told you that the girl's gonna love you forever, even if you're a fucking fat piece of shit who gains 40 pounds. But love is conditional. Can you believe that? Can you believe it's just your turn? Can you believe that? I'm blowing your fucking minds right now. If that's news to you, you are fucking broken in a lot of goddamn ways beyond women. Yeah, this is why I don't feel bad for the dudes. This is why I don't mind fucking kicking people's feelings in a little bit. A lot of men just believe dumb shit about women. Oh, you got burned. Oh, so you did. Oh, well. Take responsibility for your pussy fucking feelings. Seriously. All right, guys. Good talk. Love you all. Talk to y'all again.